Hey guys, I'm here with a quick SQL video. I'll be showing you how to add a column to your existing table. I'll use two methods. One would be through an SQL query, which is the method that I prefer, and the other method, which is the easier one, was to use the Management Studio, your SSMS. So for example, we have here our database. Make sure it's selected, and let's go ahead and start querying everything from the nurse table. So do select star from nurse table, and I'll go ahead and click F5 on my keyboard to execute this query. So here we can see that we already have 4. We have 4 columns. I'll go ahead and drop the shift column because this is the one we're trying to add. Let's go ahead and save, go back here, execute, and as you can see, now we just have 3 columns. So like I just did, to add a column or even to drop a column, you would right click, hit design, right click the table, select design, and that will give you all the columns that you have. So let's go ahead and add a column. So we'll do shift, and for this column we want to know what shift specific nurse works at. So we'll do varchar 50. I feel like that's too much for just a single word, so let's just keep it at 20, and we'll allow nulls in this specific column. So after you're done adding the columns that you want, you just go ahead and do Control S or just save, and when you go back here and query, okay, you can see that you have a shift column that's added to your table. So that's one method. I'll also show you how you could add value to the column that you added. So from the nurse table, instead of clicking design, this time you would click edit, and here you can enter the values manually. So for the first nurse, let's say we can say just night, day, night, and once you're done, you just go back and check what you have going on in the table. Okay, so once you go to the last row, it automatically saves. So once you're on this last one that says null, whatever you did up here is already saved. So let's go back here, and let's just open a new query, select all from nurse again, execute, and here we have the values. Okay, so that's one method. Second method is to write an SQL query that adds a column, and I'll show you how to add it, drop it, and also insert values into it. So let's go back to our design. So to delete the column, you would go ahead and right click it, delete column, okay, and remember that you need to save, and once you're done with that, go ahead and execute the query again, and the column that we added is gone. So let's do an SQL query to add a column to the nurse table. So it goes like that. We'll use the alter, and that's a DDL, data definition language, and that means that lets us control the structure of our database and table. So we can add a column, drop a column, add a new table, drop a table. All of that is done through the DDL. There are a few functions. I'll make another video just covering DDL. So let's go ahead and go alter, and then you select the table's name. So we'll go ahead and put nurse. Okay, and alter table, nurse, put the table name, and lastly we'll do add, and here we can just go ahead and put the name that we want it to add, shift, okay, and then we would just add the data type. So we'll say varchar 20. Okay, let's go ahead and execute. Command completed successfully. Let's go ahead and query the nurse table. Select all from nurse. And here we have the column added again. So if you want to add values to the empty cells here, so let's go ahead and do that really quickly. We'll do insert, okay, into nurse, and we'll type the word values, okay, and we'll open parentheses. And here, if we just do that, if we just leave it as it is, just put the table name here, SQL would expect us to add values for every single column in the table, but we just want to add values to the shift. So we would do shift, okay, close parentheses, and values, we'll go ahead and do night. And since it's a varchar, it would expect us to use single quotes. And here, do shift. Okay. And I believe I have an error somewhere. Let's see. Okay, so I have figured out what issue we're having. So the IntelliSense of the Management Studio does not refresh right away when you add a column or do a change in the database. So what we would need to do is to just refresh here, okay, and so right now it's looking for the shift column in the nurse table, but that's why we have an error here. It says it's invalid, meaning that it's not finding anything that says shift. So we can go ahead and go to edit, IntelliSense, and refresh local cache. Okay, and here we go. Now it actually found the column that we're trying to insert value into. So if we just go ahead and type sh, it would find it, and we'll just double click. So here we'll go ahead and execute, and it says that employee ID table healthcare column does not allow nulls. Insert fail. So that means that it tried to enter values into, let's go ahead here, tried to enter values into these columns as well, but since we don't allow null, then that's why we ran into an issue. Okay, so here is how we can do this. We're not trying to insert a whole new row, we're not trying to insert a whole new record. We just want to update this specific value right here. So instead of doing the insert, we can go ahead and update. Okay, update. Let's go ahead and get rid of all of that. Update nurse table set shift equal to night, where employee ID equals 5001. Okay, let's see if that works. Update. Okay, it says successful. Let's go ahead and execute, and here we go. We have the record updated. So the issue that I had was that by default, since we allowed nulls, it already added a null value to all the empty columns. So instead of inserting a value, it already has a value that's null. Null is still a value. Null equals, it's a value. It doesn't mean it's blank. That's a whole different story. So since it's a null, we just need to update it. So this is how we would update. Okay, so lastly, let's show how we can drop that column. So we'll go ahead and do alter again, ddl, alter table nurse, and as you guys can see, I already have some issues with the IntelliSense again. So, but it's okay. This time I already know what I'm trying to do. Alter table nurse, and then we'll go ahead and do drop column, and we'll just give it its name, shift, and let's go ahead and execute. It says successful. Let's go ahead and query the whole table again, and here we go. The column that we added is now gone. I hope this video was helpful, and we ran into some issues together, but this is how we learn. It just takes practice, and yeah, I just wanted it to be natural and show you how we can troubleshoot issues that we can run into while working with SQL, right?